Sego, Sewakwego. Doing this capsule today, we have a few topics to discuss. I thought we would start with the saddest one. Never a pleasure doing these kind of things, but we do need to pass on our condolences for the recent losses we've had in our community. We start off with giving our condolences to Clarence Cree, his passing, and passing our condolences to the family of Mr. Cree. We also have recently Sunny Ray Nelson, young woman, passed away at the age of 32. Mr. Denis Martin, who passed away just recently. All people of our community that we've known pretty much for a good portion of our lives, for many of us. And we need to understand that our community, this is proof that how connected we are. Everyone pretty much knows everybody. And when we lose someone in the community, it's felt throughout the entire community. We understand that this year is going to be particularly hard on these families because there's going to be an empty chair at that Christmas table. And it's going to be a very hard time for these families to get through. So our heartfelt condolences go out to the families of the deceased band members here. I know that myself, there's a couple of people that I'm going to miss, and I'm sure all of you feel the same. But we have to think of those family members that are left behind, and we got to hope and pray that their grief is going to be short-lived and that they're going to be left with the good memories of those who passed. So, Niawenhkó for all your thoughts and prayers for these families at this time. I'd like to move on with the second topic that I wanted to discuss. The vaccine that's on the way. We know that there's several vaccines out there. One is the recent one, Pfizer, that was highly publicized. There's another one called Moderna. And there will be others as this develops. We have to understand that we dodged a bullet in this community. If you look at a map of the surrounding area, Kanesatake and the area here, the immediate area of Oka, Saint Placide, pretty much remain COVID clear. I don't think we can stretch our luck that much further. The vaccine that's coming out, there's a lot of disinformation or misunderstanding about the vaccine. If we understand one thing, is that these companies are putting their reputations on the line for this vaccine. And yes, they did develop it quickly, but that's only because scientists over the last decades have been working on human DNA, understanding human DNA, the cell structure of a human being. And this virus came along and was basically going after the human cell in such a way. So these companies did not just pull this out overnight. There was a lot of study done over decades. The understanding that they already had helped these scientists, tens of thousands of them around the world, working on this one problem. Companies investing billions. It's a little difficult for me to say that these companies would be doing something that would harm the general public. Because if you look at it from an economic sense, if you're going to bring in a vaccine that's going to have long-term health problems for people, it's not going to help their economy any more than it is now under the conditions we're seeing. So I know myself, I'm not an expert, but I have come to understand many parts of what this vaccine is all about, what it's made of, and how it'll be delivered to the human body. But I'm not going to sit here and explain. What I'll do is, on our next capsule, I'm inviting Dr. Goyi from the Regional Health Commission of the Lower Laurentians to come in and help us understand what this vaccine is. And we will bring our health professionals from the KHC to help promote understanding. Because like I said, we dodged the bullet so far. I don't think we can dodge it much further. We were lucky in a sense that we've only had one death so far. And I don't know if many of us would want to continue taking the chance of seeing that change for the worst. So I'm hoping everybody will be a little patient and tune in to the capsule when we bring in the right professionals to explain. So that's the topic of the vaccine for today. I also had another issue. Everyone understands what's going on with Oka, right? Oka has been attempting so far to try to protect part of the pines as an ecologically protected area under the heritage of Oka, which caused a lot of tension in our community. Now, last Saturday I met with members of the land defenders, and we put in some really respectful dialogue, trying to understand each other. There have been a lot of misinformation at that level too throughout the summer. Several videos were made. The recent one was about the golf course being sold and condos being planned on the golf course site, which turned out to be completely false. So we really got to pick up our game a little bit and start talking with respect, trying to look at what our issues are related to the lands. And there's no need to make up stories, to make up issues, because we already have the truth. The truth is on our side historically. Aboriginal title was never surrendered. The heritage of this area belongs primarily to us. So we got to find a way to work in the same direction, understanding each other, understanding the historical evidence that we have. Now we're armed with the truth. And it's with that truth that we're going to bring the benefits back to our future generations if we work together. Now, Council and I support anyone, whether it be the land defenders or any other group within our community, who will defend and promote the interests of our historical grievances to the lands here in a peaceful way. This is always going to be the goal. We just have to be patient with each other. We had, like I said, we had some really good dialogue on Saturday. And I know I walked away relieved that we had more in common than we had differences. And that's what we need to hold on to. This is what we need to promote. We talk about reconciliation all over the place. The big buzzword with outside governments, society. But we forget that I think the primary reconciliation has to be internal. And until we do something like that, progress is going to be difficult to achieve. Now, you look at like the language, culture. If we continue to work in different directions, we're not going to achieve much there. You look at economic development, the reacquisition of lands, the protection, environmental protection of our territory is going to be hard to achieve if we're working in different directions. We all have common, I think, views. We pretty much see things the same way, and I don't understand why we're working in different directions. So progress is going to depend entirely on the dialogue we can have together, looking at the truths that are there and acting on those truths, realizing that each one of us want the same thing. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity, I think, in the new year to achieve just that. I think we owe it to ourselves and the future generations. Otherwise, we're just going to perpetuate the same poverty, the same environmental damage, same loss of our language and culture. So I'm hoping that the community as a whole realizes that their historical grievances, the evidence that's there, is more powerful than any confrontational approach. So Mohawk Council has sought a legal brief, and our lawyers are working on this. We have the intention of taking the municipality to court over its intentions of why it had to implement this resolution over the pines. And our intention is to go squash it. So I'll keep the community informed step by step. And documentation will be posted up as it comes along. So for that, I thank the community for all its support and its understanding. Niawenhkó to everybody, and from the Mohawk Council, on behalf of all the chiefs, we wish everybody a health and safe Christmas, and hopefully by the new year we're going to have a new dialogue with each other, one based on respect and truth. So, Niawenhkó.